Hi, I'm Dan Jacobson and I'm the Global Leadership Development Manager at Vista. So I lead a team that designs and delivers leadership development programs across our organisation. I never really planned to get into this field. Many years ago, I was working as a chef's apprentice and I really loved the work, but I found the environment super confronting. I hope things have shifted in the hospitality industry now, and I see some signs that it has. But in my experience, it was pretty rough. Mistakes weren't tolerated, but aggression was, and I just wasn't cut out for that. It was a really terrible environment for me. I didn't feel safe, and it was hard to try new things and also to learn. And that really took a toll. So I took a break, but I did plan to go back. In the meantime, I needed a job, so I started working in a call center doing customer service. I didn't love the work as much as I had loved cooking, but I really loved the environment. There was lots of training and development. Mistakes were seen as opportunities, and my managers seemed to care about my well-being and be genuinely invested in my success. And I'd never experienced anything like that in my previous roles. It was a real eye-opener for me about how a work environment can impact your life. So not just while you're at work, but also how you feel when you get home and the energy you have to show up for the people in your life. I also got some really cool opportunities at that company. So first I moved into a training role. So I was training people to work in the call center. Then I took on managing that team. And from there, I began focusing on leadership development. And that's where I've spent a lot of my career. So I've been a people and culture manager, an executive coach. I've worked as a freelance consultant and in organizations across lots of different industries. And over those years since I've worked in learning and development roles, I've also done some study. So I got a Master of Management and later a graduate diploma of psychology. And both of those I did while I was working. What I really love about leadership development is that I can impact other people's day-to-day and their experience at work. So I think we all know what it's like to come to work, and it's great. You know what's expected of you, you have the resources to achieve, and you feel safe to push yourself out of your comfort zone. But unfortunately, I think most of us also know what it's like to come to work and it's not so great, like the experience I had in hospitality. And I think that leaders are super impactful in that. So if I can support leaders to support their people, then that's massive. It really can have an impact. Over my career, I never really considered working in the tech industry. Honestly, it seemed kind of elusive and maybe a bit intimidating because I'm not a tech person. When I completed my psychology study, I was looking for something new, like a bit of a challenge, and I saw this job come up and I just really liked the focus of the job. It was a good fit for my skill set and experience, and the company seemed great, so I applied. And coming into the industry, the first thing that struck me was the culture of learning. People are just naturally curious and keen to learn, and at the same time, it's okay not to know things and it's okay to make mistakes, try different things out. And as someone who's always worked in learning and development roles throughout my career, that was super exciting. And it also made me lift my game. I really need to make sure that I'm responding to that instinct to explore and learn and try things out when I'm developing learning opportunities for our leaders, which I think is really cool. So in my job, my team and I design and deliver global leadership development programs. We first work to understand the needs across the business and design programs and initiatives that support leaders to grow and help make sure that they have the skills to drive Vista's strategy both now and into the future. We work with leaders at all different levels across the business and across the world. We have leaders in around 20 different countries. We run blended learning cohorts. So for example, a lot of our leaders will participate in a 3-month program, which includes asynchronous e-learning as well as facilitated workshops and peer learning activities to give them the opportunity to reflect on who they are as a leader and also develop their leadership skills. And we run an alumni community of practice for people who have been through our programs to support their ongoing learning and give them connection with other leaders across the business. So my day-to-day is really leading the team to create and update content, deliver workshops, liaise with participants. There's lots of logistics, especially across all those time zones, and also thinking about what's next for our leadership development and how we can support people and the business. So really, this is nothing at all like what I expected I'd be doing back in my chefing days. If I was giving advice to myself over my career, there'd probably be two main messages. The advice I would have given myself when I first started out, and to anyone else who's starting out now, is that it's okay if you don't know exactly what you want to do. Sometimes you have to try things out. Like when we're little kids and people ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? We always have an answer, but we have literally no idea what we're talking about. Like we don't know what the day-to-day job actually looks like. And I think I was pretty much like that when I started working. And that was okay. I just needed to take the opportunity to explore. And the advice that I would have given myself as I developed in my career, and to anyone else who's ready for that, is that every job has some really cool bits and some less exciting bits. And over time, you work out what your negotiables and your non-negotiables are. So in my current job, I probably spend more time than I would like to doing reporting, which has to be done, and it does drain my energy a bit. But that's okay because I also get to do a lot of things that give me energy. And in past jobs, I've found that it's swung too far to the energy depleting bits, and then I know it's time for something new because jobs shift and change and you shift and change. So from time to time, you do need to reassess that, and that's also okay. I think as a learning professional, I love that I'm always getting to learn myself, and the tech industry is a really cool place to do that.